I'm excited to share bullish news with you for crypto at large, and that I believe the best is yet to come for crypto across the board in 2021. I'm going to show you in detail why, especially because today we are bearish again. These three recent crashes we can't seem to quite move forward, but I think it is coming soon. I feel that we are just in this period of final consolidation before things go really wild again. I'm Joanna Garzilli. This is Crypto Angel Network. Thank you for subscribing to the channel, for lighting up that bell to get my notifications, for sharing your comments, the conversations that we get to have here. And let me go ahead and share my screen, because this news made me feel very happy. And I will try and make it as entertaining, as enjoyable as possible. I do feel it is important to, by doing the fundamentals, by really looking at what is happening and not buying into the FUD when we see certain news headlines, or I just covered in a video a couple of days ago about every year it seems that there's some type of news narrative that goes out that China is banning Bitcoin, and those articles come out 3 years in a row. Let me give you some good news here, which is that despite Washington D.C. at large, that they are not confirming anything specific for cryptocurrency, but regardless of that, 31 states are putting legislation into effect. And I want to share this with you so that you can see what good news is happening. And I do want to go over New York State in particular as well, because in other videos I have covered where the New York Attorney General's office has really been going after certain organizations, certain tokens. Yet, despite that, I feel that there is very, very good news coming out of the East Coast. So stick with me on this, and I'm going to get to that, to go over that with you. So let's start off here. And like I said, there are 31 different states that are moving forward. And I'm not going to go into detail on all of them. But let's see here. Well, I'm in the state of Arizona, and I know some of the other crypto angels are as well. And I thought that this was very exciting news, is that Arizona state is establishing a blockchain and cryptocurrency study committee. Very positive, very bullish. And let's see, I want to go down to Delaware. A lot of people within the United States, that they do incorporate businesses out of Delaware. And so one of the things they're doing here, they have a bill which adopts an express reporting requirement for virtual currency with an exemption for game-related digital content with minimal or no value. Defines virtual currency and game-related digital content. And let's see other things here. I mean, it's really defining how they are getting ready and gearing up for business, or where businesses are established out of Delaware. Florida has a licensee during the financial technology sandbox period. And for money transmits that receives virtual currency, excluding virtual currency in the calculation of permissible investment. So that is something that is in the work there. Hawaii, let's see, requests the Department of Commerce and Consumer Affairs to reconsider its 2016 ruling on asset reserve requirements for virtual currency companies and cryptocurrency companies to conduct business in Hawaii, and to align the state's asset reserve requirements for these companies with the asset reserve requirement in other states. So I suppose from this, my understanding is it was rejected back in 2016, but now several years later, that we'll see if that gets passed within that state. Idaho Uniform Commercial Code to provide for digital asset custodial services, provides for jurisdiction of Idaho courts, and establishes the Idaho Utility Token Act. So that's a positive movement forward, and they have some other things here as well. I want to make sure, just stick with me for when we get to New York, because everything, Wall Street, the whole entire industry, it comes from the financial world. The hub of the financial world, really, I think, is New York, and then of course certain places within the Far East as well, like Singapore. But just from the US standpoint here, I'm not going to go through all the details with Illinois, but they are definitely setting, because this is a lot. Let me just amends the Blockchain Business Development Act to provide that the Department of Financial and Professional Regulation shall have authority to adopt rules, opinions, or interpretive letters regarding the custody of digital assets, including digital consumer assets, digital securities, and virtual currency. So, one thing that happened a couple of days ago, and today's date is June the 16th, is that the SEC are not going to be doing any specific regulation for cryptocurrencies in 2021. So it can, there's still a lot of opportunity to have success, to have massive gains. And also remember that because it is not regulated, that there are huge risks, and it is so crucial to be very, very careful that you do not go, especially if you're new to cryptocurrency, not to go into one of these scam coins. And there are so many of these projects that are they go for branding, or a celebrity will go and tweet about it, and you think, oh, I'm going to go into it because this celebrity's in it, or that athlete, but they don't know. They are typically being paid some type of sponsorship fee that would be in the form of maybe of that token, and so there is a big risk there. And if you are newer to crypto, not investment advice here. What I have learned is that sticking with projects that are at least within the if you're really, really new, I would go within the top 10. Maybe one wants to explore within the top 25 of projects, even within the top 100 as the market, as we get really bullish again. But other things beyond that, I would just say be super careful. Minimize your risk. And if you are going to go into something that is a potential 100x or 1000x token, I'm going to go down here. Let's see. We're going to, again, I went past nothing for California yet. Nothing in Kansas. There was a couple of other states as well where I've just sort of skipped them because it says none. So they are not, California is so huge and has always, I've always liked to think that they have innovated in the past. That was one of the reasons it came out to the States, because I felt that, it's exciting because they were more progressive. But as regards to, at this point, it seems in regards to digital assets, and even that we have Silicon Valley within California, that there is no innovation that it seems coming out of California right now. Interestingly, and I'm not going to go over Kentucky here, but they are doing things here too. The reason I wanted to say that about California is because with the film industry, Louisiana really innovated before, and a lot of production that was happening where you would get sort of tax money or things to support you to do your production in California. Instead of in California, a lot of those productions moved to Louisiana, and so you can see here Louisiana is innovating. Commends Bitcoin. This is just the one state I saw where it said it is praising Bitcoin for its success in becoming the first decentralized trillion-dollar asset, and encourages the state and local governments to consider ways that could help them benefit from the increased use of this new technology. So watch this space for Louisiana for potential maybe crypto blockchain events happening, sort of how like the Bitcoin conference just happened in Miami. That Louisiana is really looking to be a mover and shaker within this space. Maine has a bill proposed to implement strategies relating to blockchain, cryptocurrency, and other financial technology to promote regulatory efficiency, enable business organization and governance structures that may expand opportunities in fintech, and promote education regarding the adoption of financial technology in the public and private sector. So you can just see here at large that they are really focusing on, I mean, Maine is not a big state, but they're saying, okay, we want to be in the game here with this. We want to be part of what is going to be in my opinion, the future of the financial world. Maryland's not doing anything yet, which is obviously where we have, D.C. Massachusetts here establishes a special commission, including members of the General Court on blockchain and cryptocurrency. So that's very positive. Minnesota is, they are just looking at defining it right now, the definition of money for it. So they're making some small moves there. And then Mississippi, nothing. Missouri, interesting, modifies the offense of money laundering, includes virtual currency. So I guess maybe they're not a fan there. They're looking to crack down even more. Montana, nothing happening there. I mean, Montana normally is relatively innovative with new things. Nebraska adopts the Transactions in Digital Assets Act. I'm not going to go over that right now, but that is something that you could go and do some due diligence on, and maybe I'll cover that in another video. And Nebraska adopts the Nebraska Financial Innovation Act. So that, again, this seems very, very positive. Nevada is, this is interesting, authorizes a bank to provide certain custodial services for digital assets. So more on the institutional side, it looks like. Exempts an operator of a peer-to-peer digital currency platform from certain provisions governing persons engaged in the business of transmitting money. Revises the definition of virtual currency. Exempting virtual currencies from taxation and provides other matters properly relating thereto. So there's a whole load of other things here. The bill defines the term digital token to mean a digital representation of US dollars is converted to and from the US dollar by a digital token payment system. So what are they going to be getting ready there for in Nevada? You let me know what you think in the comments. And let's see, I'm going to move on to this. Nothing in New Hampshire. New Jersey is taking some steps here, regulates and establishes certain consumer protections concerning digital currencies, which would say, okay, they're getting ready to start, say, we are going to accept digital currencies. And does this mean that we are moving towards having, where the US is going to say we're going towards digital currency at large and away from banknotes, or that this is innovation within crypto assets? New Jersey also, I thought this was super bullish news. This bill, the Digital Currency Jobs Creation Act, establishes a regulatory framework for the digital currency businesses to operate in New Jersey and creates certain incentives for digital currency businesses to locate in the state. So they're saying we embrace anything job related, sort of like, I guess you could say, tech within Silicon Valley. They're saying you've got a digital currency business or something that is within blockchain, come do business here. We've got incentives for you. So that is very exciting. And we can also see for New Jersey that they create the Digital Asset and Blockchain Technology Act. So they are definitely moving forward. This passed in the Assembly on the 25th of March 2021. So I just want to remind you that despite a lot of the FUD that we're seeing out there, and is this the top for Bitcoin, and even where recent news of saying, well, from a former president of ours, that this is a scam, but acknowledging it, that why would all these why would all these different acts, these bills being put forth and then passed, if this was something that was fraudulent? They just wouldn't. Now, this is I feel like, again, New York being the financial center of things, I really wanted to address this, that they established the Office of Financial Resilience to develop and implement new programs and initiatives for the purpose of supporting local economies and promoting resilient financial models. A regulatory sandbox program they've got here. This to me was fascinating news. You let me know your thoughts. Establishes a task force to study the potential designation of economic empowerment zones for the mining of cryptocurrencies in the state of New York. That is a big deal there. So we know that recently that There is this council that was formed for making sure that Bitcoin is mined green. I know that there was news the other day where a Bloomberg report, I think it was on Altcoin Daily, covered this, that they really hammered, I'm trying to remember, Jason, what's his last name? The founder of a blockchain the blockchain mining company. I can't remember, maybe one of you, Kuchi Sensei, you can put it in the comments. I know you will know. And so this is just very, very positive, because that totally counters any FUD that would have gone out there from Bloomberg. Establishes a task force to study the impact of a state-issued cryptocurrency on the state of New York. Interesting. Is this that New York is looking to create their own token, or are they just looking at whether there is the adoption of some type of major currency to be used within the state of New York, going totally cashless? New York also establishes that state agencies are allowed to accept cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and Bitcoin Cash as payment. That is huge. So I've covered a number of videos on US dollar tether and my fears and concerns about the way that it's run, and because of the, like I said before, the New York Attorney General. But when I see this, this puts my mind at ease. I still think that is an issue with Tether, but I just seeing that regulation is going to be, just some type of order is being put in place to be able to accept these cryptocurrencies is super, super positive. Establishes a moratorium on the operation of cryptocurrency mining centers, provides that operation of a cryptocurrency mining center shall only be authorized following completion of a full generic environmental impact statement review and a finding that such center will not adversely affect the state greenhouse gas emissions targets in the Climate Leadership and Community Protection Act of 2019, provides for the repeal of such provisions under expiration thereof. So they are taking this very seriously, and we are not done with Bitcoin. This is just the beginning, and we are starting to see again that this just gives clarification and confirmation that the institutions that, if it's like, well, why are they not in yet? We have to remember that institutions that are coming in, that they are doing such a big buy that it takes time for them to ramp up. And this is why I still believe that probably around August, we are going to start to see the market go parabolic again. New York creates the Digital Currency Task Force to provide the governor and the legislature with information on the potential effects of the widespread implementation of digital currencies on financial markets in the state. So would they not be looking at how are cryptocurrencies going to be integrated? How does this work with the stock market at large? How does this work with business, with different industries? They are getting ready to integrate it. So this is why I feel personally you cannot go wrong with Bitcoin or Ethereum. It's an absolute no-brainer. And then a number of the other projects that are there within at least the top 10, top 20 that have very strong fundamentals, and you could include the top 100 in that. Directs the New York State Energy Research and Development Authority to conduct a study on powering cryptocurrency mining facilities with renewable energy. And so New York, again, they're doing a lot there. North Carolina is taking action here as well. They're, defining cryptocurrency. I'm not going to go through it. North Dakota's doing stuff here. Ohio isn't yet. Oklahoma isn't. Oregon is taking actions as well. Pennsylvania, Rhode Island is, this is exciting, an Economic Growth Blockchain Act sets regulations for the sales of hemp, regulates virtual and digital assets, and establishes depository banks for these purposes. And so they're really focused on growth here out of Rhode Island. And then South Carolina enacts the South Carolina Blockchain Industry Empowerment Act of 2021, an incubator for tech industry seeking to develop innovation by using blockchain technology. That is super, super exciting. So it looks like South Carolina their focus is to position themselves as a sort of from the perspective of digital assets, as a Silicon Valley, where Silicon Valley maybe is not taking up the mantle here, and California, the government there is not responding. Other states are saying, let's jump in there, let's really make this work. And Texas is also taking actions here, that they're really figuring out the rights for purchasers who obtain control of virtual currencies, and amendment to the right to own, hold, and use any mutually agreed upon medium of exchange. Washington includes virtual currency here. West Virginia rewriting the criminal code. Wisconsin, they are taking some actions there. Wyoming is innovating. They are creating a cryptocurrency staking program and advisory council, providing for matching funds, relates to carbon capture, utilization, and storage projects. And so they are really looking to do good things there, and I think bring in opportunities from a sort of a custodial institutional standpoint. And the last thing here relates to digital asset specific disclosure obligations applicable to private cryptographic keys. So there you have it. I think that when we shift away from the FUD that is out there, and we just move towards, what is actually happening, when we ground ourselves in the facts, especially when the market is not euphoric and people are keep falling back into fear. This is why I just feel that when you look at the facts and you don't look at the gossip that is out there and the fear mongering, things are very, very positive. You let me know in the comments what you think, what you feel, and what you are doing right now with the market as is. Are you hodling? Are you buying these dips right now? You let me know. I'm Joanna Garzili. This is Crypto Angel Network. Thank you again for subscribing, and I'm sending you lots of love.